Hey gamers of YouTube, this is John, host of Video Games in the World, and this is part 2 of my playthrough of The Legend of Zelda, the original game for the NES. So last time I did 2 dungeons in one video. One, the first dungeon, which was called the Eagle, and the second dungeon was called the Moon. Now, this stage is called the Manji, and this is where a lot of enemies are going to get tougher from now on. And in this level, we are introduced to a new enemy, the Dark Nut. Now, the Dark Nut, its large shield will deflect any attacks from the front, so you will need to strike the enemy from the side or at its back. Try to walk up to Dark Nuts from their side rather than straight on. Alternatively, you can use bombs to damage them, but you'll find yourself quickly running out. Once you defeat the Dark Nuts, some bombs will be left as a reward. And the wall on the right can be blasted open with a bomb and reveals and serves as a shortcut to get to the dungeon boss. However, we still need to acquire the dungeon item, so instead, progress through the door to the left. Because what we're gonna get, the dungeon item that we're gonna get is called the Raft. Ah, Jesus. My bad. So I better... Now, there's one thing you should know about the Dark Nuts. Like I said in the last video, enemies are colored in red or orange. They're the weaker ones. But the blue ones, well, they're really tough. And the blue Dark Nuts, they could take a major... They'll deal major damage to you. And before you know it, you might just end up getting your ass handed down to you. Truth is, I like making money in this one. For the arrows, the potions, you know. Okay, so this item here is the Raft. You're gonna need it in order to progress further to the 4th dungeon, and also in the far eastern part of the map of Hyrule. There's a place that looks like a dungeon, an isle that looks like a dungeon. However, it has a heart container. Now, I already told you about the about how to get the sword, right? So you need a certain number of hearts in order to get the sword. For example, for the white sword, you need like for the white sword, you're gonna need like 5 or 6 hearts, I believe. And now we got the map. We're about to get the map. And get ready for some little controversy because look, The Legend of Zelda is reputed to have some controversy in their video games. For example, like the Fire Temple theme in Ocarina of Time, because it sounded like Islamic prayer. Because the chants in the original N64 release of Ocarina of Time, the chants of the Fire Temple sounded like Islamic prayer, where you could hear stuff being said like, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Also, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, and also, as Allah wills it, and you can also hear the chant saying, Allahu Akbar. Now, this pissed off a bunch of Muslims in the Middle East after the game's release. And then, with the release of the GameCube, the chants were changed. And the symbol as well, because it looked like the religious Islamic symbol. You know what I'm saying? Yes, old man, I certainly did get the sword from the old man at the top of the waterfall. Now, the boss in this stage is called the Manhandla, and it's very, very, very tough. And here's the map. Ooh, looks like a swastika. Now, I've already told you the story of the swastika, ladies and gentlemen, in previous episodes of Season 1 of Video Games in the World. And here's the thing, look. The swastika was not a symbol of the Nazis. It's a very ancient symbol. Now, swastika is from the Sanskrit word well-being of the soul. Su, good. Asti, to be. And Ka, one soul. A lot of Eastern religions used it, such as Islam, Buddhism, Shinto Buddhism, etc., etc. It was a symbol of peace and goodwill until the day that evil bastard took it and turned it into a symbol of discrimination, intolerance, and bigotry. Yeah, Hitler took it. Stupid jerk. And we got the third shard of the Triforce of Wisdom. Okay, now, about Link in the original Legend of Zelda, I remember that he was brown-haired. But then his hair was turned blonde. And Zelda was a red-haired in the original game and its sequel, Adventure of Link, which is going to be my next video game playthrough. Oh boy. Boy, this is really expensive. Yup, I told you, 250 rupees for the blue ring. But me, personally, to make it more interesting, I'd rather get the red ring in the final dungeon. Yeah, even if it means getting my ass whooped so many times. Now, I already told you about the white sword. The magical sword is the final and most powerful sword in the original game. So, in the first quest, you need like 12 hearts. If you have 12 heart containers, you are able to pick up the sword. If you have less than 12 hearts, then you are unable to claim it as your own. Using the magic sword makes most enemies very simple, as one hits defeats them very easily. But now, I'm buying the blue candle instead of arrows right now, because the blue candle is a necessary item in order to get through dark areas in many dungeons, which you are about to see in a few. Okay, let's go up. And also, the candle is very useful in order to get heart containers and secret areas where you make a lot of rupees. Now I'll show you. There you go. And 90 rupees for the big shield. Now, the big shield can deflect projectiles of your enemies. The ones you couldn't deflect before with that small shield. And before we had that Triforce symbol, or shield, in later games of The Legend of Zelda, the shield was a cross. And you know, I'm kind of I don't know. Oh, surprised? Because Nintendo, back in the days, wouldn't allow any religious symbols in games. And I'm surprised that Christians didn't throw a fit at the shield, because, you know, back in the old days during the NES, Christians would still almost throw a fit about everything. And yet they still do up until this day. Examples like Harry Potter, Pokemon, you know. Take anyone you want. We got 9 heart containers, and that means only 3 more for the sword, for the magic sword, ladies and gentlemen. My favorite Legend of Zelda, my most favorite Legend of Zelda is A Link to the Past. Great story, awesome gameplay, and it has a lot of replay value. And when I heard that it was gonna have a sequel, well, years ago, A Link Between Worlds, I was so happy. Okay, so this is the fourth stage, ladies and gentlemen. It's called... The fourth stage, ladies and gentlemen, is called The Snake. Now, those gargoyle-like creatures can split into bats, even if you kill them with a white sword. Now, you see, the place is getting dark, so use the candle in order to light up the area. New enemies, and the game gets a lot tougher from now on. Ooh, another dark area. And another one of those gargoyles. Alright. So, the dungeon item in the area known as the Snake is... is the ladder, I believe. Now, the ladder in this game can help you cross through area. It can be used as a small bridge to cross through water areas. Back when Link couldn't swim. And I remember that I used to have the Legend of Zelda video game in a gold cartridge. The second Zelda game in a gold cartridge. My goodness. Ah, great times with Nintendo. Great times. Okay. Now, you gotta be careful with the like-likes. As you know, the like-likes in the Legend of Zelda series are recurring enemies. They eat your shield, and once they eat your shield, you're gonna have to save up. In this game, when your shield gets eaten by the like, you're gonna have to buy a new one. And that's gonna be a pain in the ass. Now, the dungeon theme in The Legend of Zelda of this original game, you can hear the dungeon theme in Majora's Mask, but only in the Sora Hall when you enter the room of one of the band members of the Indigos, who's the bassist of the Indigos, called Japas. Okay. That was just me looking for other areas like in the maps, you know. It's been a long, long time since I have played this game. Okay, so here is the ladder, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Oh boy, I wish I had the magical sword right now to dispatch them all at once, without worrying about them to split. Okay. So, we're almost there. Now, the boss in this stage is another tougher boss. It's a dragon called Gleeok. The two-headed dragon Gleeok can be found here in this stage as a dungeon boss. It will shoot fireballs out towards Link, and these cannot be blocked or deflected, so try to avoid them. Run close to the enemy and slash away with your sword. Keep on the move and avoid the fireballs as best you can. After enough hits to one of its heads, it will break off from the rest of the body and will start to bounce around the room, making it yet another hazard to deal with. Continue slashing away until the second and final head has been defeated. And I just got my butt whooped. Time to get some potions. Make some money and get potions. And look at that, a fairy just came out. That's what I needed! And all because I ran out of bombs too. I can get very clumsy. But let's get a heart container, shall we? Okay, I got 67, but I'd rather get more than just 68. Huh, thanks for the bombs. There you go. Okay. Yes. Well, I gotta say that 2019 was a good year. In terms of gaming, it had good games, it had some bad games too. Call of Duty was awesome, the Resident Evil 2 remake was phenomenal, and I really loved the announcement of the Resident Evil 3 remake video game. And I was pretty happy to see Ashley Birch on the Game Awards. So I got 10. Take anyone I want? Okay, I'll grab the heart container. And I have now 11 hearts. Ain't that cool? 84. And also, here's a fun way to get rupees in a way. I remember playing this game when I was very little at the house of one of my relatives during Christmas time. It's a secret to everyone. Okay. Woo-wee! 100! Howie, baby. And we had a lot of good movies too in 2019, like Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home. Well, Star Wars is coming in this Friday, and I don't know. I'm gonna look, good or bad, I'm gonna find out for myself. Okay. Buy medicine before you go. Okay. There we go. Tektites. Even after all those years, they're still so annoying. So here we are at Death Mountain. And now let us go back to the 4th dungeon and deal with a Gleeok. Now, a lot of enemies we know in The Legend of Zelda appear in the cartoon series. Gleeok, Aquamantis, the Moblins, the Stalfos. Not yet. Okay. We're gonna get the Power Gauntlet later on in the game. Because right now, we're gonna kick some ass. Oops, wrong tree. Okay. Nope. There we go. It's a secret to everybody. 30? That's all? Well, I guess it's better than 10. Also, I forgot to mention that the Soras and the Octoroks made an appearance in the cartoons. Now, the Soras in old games were enemies, but in Ocarina of Time, they will become your friends. And also in Majora's Mask, and in Twilight Princess, and plenty of other games, you know. And the P-Hats, they're a pain too. If there's one thing what sucks about playing in an emulator and recording it in an emulator, is this. Sometimes it lags. And that's why I get my butt whooped all the time. thanks to those blobs, I get a lot of money. Ooh, another manhandler. That's gonna be bad. I usually use bombs against a manhandler to kill it at once. Because I wouldn't recommend using the sword against that thing, in a way. I gotta say, Nintendo really outdid themselves in the designs of the bosses and the monsters, you know. Whoo! Rupees. Yeah, baby. 2. Let's go down here. A dark place. But at least I got the map. Now, most of the maps in this game, it's art. It was Nintendo at their finest. And they still are in some ways, you know. I usually get a lot of keys in order to use these other keys in other dungeons in this game. Walk into the waterfall. Thanks, old man. I already did. Now, the funny thing about this game is that when you hit the old man with your sword in the dungeon, he'll counterattack you with fireballs. And that's a lesson, ladies and gentlemen, that you should respect your elders no matter what. Especially if they're your parents. But some elders don't deserve respect because of their bad attitudes. Okay, so this is Gleeok. He's a pain in the ass, this one. And I'm about to wrap this video up, because this is the final part of the video. And part 3 is coming up soon enough. There you go, one of its head is flying. And here we go. Got the heart. And the 4th shard of the Triforce of Wisdom. So, until the next video, gamers, this is John, host of Video Games in the World. So, later.